Right now, authorities are providing us with an update on the Pauline Road Fire burning in San Jacinto and Montgomery counties. Let's take a few minutes and listen in.
But I have to tell you, last night was remarkable. As we watched our law enforcement, specifically our firefighters, our law enforcement, our forestry service, literally stand in harm's way to protect the homes and people of San Jacinto and Montgomery County. We witnessed it ourselves. We saw how they were, people were responded to the evacuation. Over 900 homes were evacuated. People are trickling in and out right now, but they're not going back in yet. We want to make sure that everything is clear before they do. But I have to tell you, our first responders, what they did last night was nothing short of remarkable in protecting people, assets, and infrastructure. I'll tell you also, as we viewed some things of some of our law enforcement people literally chasing down horses and cattle, lambs, actually taking them and putting them in our container vehicles and taking them to various places around the county. So the people have responded well, and we're moving in the right direction. And at this time, with us here today, you see there's a number of people here. Commissioner Matt Gray is over Precinct 4. This is his area right here. He serves on the Commissioner's Court of Montgomery County with me. Commissioner Gray, come on up and talk to us and tell us about what's going on.
Thank you, Judge. As the Judge stated, I'm Commissioner Matt Gray over East Montgomery County, and this thing kicked off. Immediately, we got great support from across county lines, across precinct lines. We're so thankful for our partnerships throughout the state. Over my shoulder, we've got state reps, other commissioners, and people who have come out just to help and offer support. As the judge stated, we had a lot of animal intake, so we rescued and got out in the neighborhood of 60 to 80 head of cattle, horses, sheep, lambs, goats, all that good stuff. We opened up shelters in record time, up 59 in my precinct, and did a mandatory evacuation. The first responders, ESDs, these guys have done an excellent job on the fire containment. They've got this thing batted down as long as the weather cooperates. We're expecting this thing to lay down, and hopefully they'll have some good news on when people can return to their homes and settle back in from this very unfortunate experience and incident. I'm going to introduce now our Director of the Office of Emergency Management, Mr. Jason Millsap. Jason, if you'd like to step up and give us an update and an overview of what you guys are experiencing as well.
Yeah. From Montgomery County and San Jacinto County's perspective, as the judge and the commissioner alluded to, we still have about 900 homes that have been evacuated that are going to remain in that situation right now, as we are expecting a command briefing a little later this afternoon with the Forest Service, where we will determine whether it would be safe or not to let folks back in their home. So we asked the press to stick around for a couple hours just in case we have other announcements to make. Additionally to that, we, as the judge mentioned, we have had several instances overnight last night where fire crews were literally standing in harm's way without regard for safety for themselves, building lines of protection around homes, and had many success stories to talk about. Unfortunately, through reconnaissance today, we did find one structure that we were unaware of that did burn. It is in San Jacinto County. The cause of that fire and that damage is still under investigation, but it is as a result of this wildfire. And so to talk more about fire operations, I want to introduce Fire Chief Jason Oliphant. Chief Oliphant.
Thank you. So just recap on what's already been said. We have fire crews working in the area, heavy first responder presence right now. So if you're in the area, be vigilant, be careful. There's a lot of extra traffic out here right now. We just need to have precaution in traveling the roads out here. A lot of construction is going on in this area, so just be safe. Fire crews, I can't speak. They have done an amazing job over the last about 24 hours, and with that, I'm going to pass it on to
Assistant Chief Mizrahi.
Assistant Chief Mizrahi.
Assistant Chief Josh Mizrahi with the Texas A&M Forest Service. After a preliminary origin and cause investigation into this fire conducted by the Texas A&M Forest Service law enforcement, we can say we can attribute the cause of this fire is to a prescribed burn. We're not going to release any information as far as to the names to the folks involved in that. We'll say that there is an investigation surrounding the circumstances of that prescribed burn. If there's any criminal charges that come out of that investigation, we'll refer that to the San Jacinto County District Attorney's Office. That's all I have at this time.
Questions? Yeah. So at this time, if questions, ask. Yes.
The structure that was burned, was that a home or a...
It was a home.
Okay.
It was a...
That home, is that related to where the prescribed burn started?
And that I'd have to ask Jason.
No, the home was not near where the prescribed burn started. It was much closer to where the head of the fire was last night.
Was a family inside the home or anybody inside the home when it was burned?
We're working and trying to determine that right now. The house was destroyed, so it's going to take some time for the investigators to take a look at that. But it's definitely a home. It appeared to be occupied before the damage occurred.
But did the family evacuate or?
We're unaware of that information at this time.
How many firefighters or agencies are working?
We probably have 130 to 140 total, all the organizations that are out here, to include the Forest Service, Department of Public Safety, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office from San Jacinto County. We've got the commissioners groups with the Constable's Office from Precinct 1. And by the way, Commissioner Walker is here from Precinct 1. His people are down here. So we have a crowd of people that have been out here helping us, not to mention all of the ESDs that have been involved. They've come from all over the county, all around the area. They've come from Liberty also as well to be here.
Judge, you kind of talked about it already, but talk about how much of a difference it's made to have this big of a collaborative effort for this big fire.
Oh, let me tell you, it's remarkable. One of the things that we have done here in Montgomery County, I'm telling you, we practice this stuff. Jason and his team have done such a good job that they're constantly putting scenarios together and practicing how we handle these scenarios. Montgomery County was out here. They set up the command trailer, and from that point forward, boom, 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 everything just fell into place. And then you have our commissioners are in sync with what we're doing in emergency management. And so I got to tell you, when you take all that together, along with our constables, our ESDs, the Department of Public Safety, TEDM, the Texas Department of Emergency Management, and sending their equipment out here, Forestry Service. It's amazing how it all works. We work better as a team than we have turf wars, and we're out on that in Montgomery County. We're here for the people. The only way we can be for the people is by cooperating together.
What comprises the aerial firefighting resources? Are they local, county, or state, or federal?
Jason?
The Texas Forest Service conducts those operations. Those air assets are under contract to the state.
And how is the fire different from yesterday?
So yesterday we had a very fast head on this fire. It was growing rapidly, and in some cases it spread, like we said this morning, about a mile in 45 minutes. Today that's different. This fire overnight encountered it as it left pine plantations. It encountered different fuel types, and the weather overnight allowed our fire crews to get good lines of containment on it and slow its progress down. It's seen very little forward progress today. It has kind of fanned out just a little bit in its growth, but forward progress has somewhat been stopped. And as a result, you can see over our shoulder, we're not seeing the smoke that we saw yesterday either. And so that makes us feel good. As we go into our command briefing tonight, we're going to really look at what could happen with the weather tonight and what could happen with fire behavior. And we hope to have good news later this evening for the residents of both San Jacinto and Montgomery counties.
And do you have a report for any missing or unaccounted people?
At this time, no. Neither county has that.
Yes, sir.
This is for the Office of Emergency Management. Has the office been made aware of landowner concerns regarding the lack of maintenance on existing pipeline easements?
I can't speak to that because the vast majority of this fire, almost 99.9% of it, was in San Jacinto County. I'm the emergency manager for Montgomery County, but I will work with the San Jacinto County partner and find out if there's been any concerns brought to their office's attention.
I ask because some of the concerns include reports of deep holes from construction areas where dirt was not compacted well and potential exposed pipe that could be vulnerable for wildfire. So is there any specific emergency protocols in place in Montgomery County with existing relationship with the NGO pipeline companies? What does that look like?
So pipelines are regulated by the by the Texas Railroad Commission. If we have incidences where they are concerned with the safety of that pipeline, it's brought to our attention. In Montgomery County, we don't have no such incidents of that kind. I can tell you, while there may be pipelines in the area where we had fire, we had no pipeline incidences related to that fire. So we have no releases or leaks from pipelines that have been detected or seen by any of the crews, air or ground crews today.
Does your office work with PHMSA as well?
My office does not. I cannot speak to San Jacinto County's office.
Judge, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I know that the prescribed burn is under investigation.
Yes.
But do you have a message to the community when it comes to wind concerns and prescribed burns?
First of all, the prescribed burn was something that he was authorized to do, the prescribed burn, and he even came up with a plan that he submitted to the Forestry Service. So we're concerned about how that all worked in relationship to this. There's lots of unknowns that take place even when you do submit a plan. So when we talk about prescribed, it's not, oh, okay, we're going to tell a few people around the area that we're going to have a fire. That's not what this is about at all. It is reported. Weather conditions are reported. Wind speeds are reported. We know that ahead of time. Am I correct on that? So you certainly can come on up here and share a little bit about that if you'd like to.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Judge, you had talked about the winds dying down. I guess what's the chief concern when it comes to the weather forecast tonight and the rest of the week?
Well, so far, we were expecting the winds to really dial up between 1 and 4. The fact of the matter is, when you guys were out here a little while ago, you saw how windy it was. But look at where we're at right now. The wind has not gone away, but it has definitely significantly dropped. The advantage of that is you're not going to have these gusts that are going to feed the flames and create these plumes over the top of the trees that spread embers everywhere. So what we have here is a good conditions to get these to the ground and fix it on the ground. Also, this has come from these pine forests now into hardwood areas. So that's a different animal as well. It doesn't burn as quick like it would in these brand new pine forests that we have. So a lot of these guys that had these pine forests, these pine plantations, man, they're destroyed.
And can you explain real fast just which areas still remain evacuated right now?
Want to do that, Jason?
So as of right now, it's the Lee Turner area of San Jacinto County, Lee Turner Road, and any subdivision or road associated or attached to that road. And then in Montgomery County, it's the very northern portion of North Duck Creek Road and the attached roads and subdivisions to that area as well.
And how many acres have burned so far and the containment?
Just shy of 2,400 acres.
And what's the containment?
It's at 20% officially at this time.
All right. Thank y'all very much. We appreciate y'all coming out. We're here. We're going to stay here until it's over. Thank you.
When can we expect another update?
Well, there you have it. If you're just joining us, we just heard from officials in Montgomery County. Nearly 2,400 acres have burned at this time, 20% containment on this fire. Now, the cause of the fire is because of a prescribed burn. This is according to authorities. That prescribed burn was said to be authorized. An investigation is ongoing at this time. No charges have been filed. However, charges are pending that investigation. We know one structure burned. That was a home. The status of those homeowners is not known at this time. We do know, though, that home was not involved in that prescribed burn. Dozens of animals have been rescued. We're talking about cows and horses. Shelters opened in a record time. We know Lee Turner Road in San Jacinto County and roads off of that area are still impacted, as well as North Creek Road in Montgomery County. So if you can avoid those areas, really officials, though, crediting swift and quick action for saving lives with this fire.